what am I going to do? Like, I literally have a working campaign that's printing money. I need this money like desperately, because you can have the best creatives and the best media buying skills, but if you're pumping it to like a bad offer, like you're never going to make it work, right? How do I create something bigger to sell it to someone and get a big cash out? If I was to walk away from the affiliate space tomorrow, I feel like I've done my part, you know?
Hey guys, just want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, not just Adam, but Ringba, of course. If you haven't already, grab your copy of The Paper Call Revolution, which you can find on Amazon now. I have a very special guest, a legend in the affiliate marketing space, in the lead gen space. You probably do other things outside of that too, but nonetheless, I want to introduce you to Gabriel Ansel. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Happy to be here.
Coming off,
yeah.
coming off a great mastermind.
Coming off a great mastermind. It's weird being on the other side of the interview process. You know, the interviewee, I guess I am today. So
yeah,
I don't know how good I'm gonna do, man. I'm usually the one asking the questions, not giving the answers. So we'll see.
You're good. We're just gonna chat. So when did you first come into the affiliate space?
Man, I want to say it's probably around the 2008-ish mark, 2009 maybe. And yeah, so I grew up in a town, or I didn't grow up, but I was spending I moved to a town called Victoria, BC, British Columbia. And yeah, it's a super small town. Everyone kind of knows everybody. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was a graphic designer before. And I think at the time I just was like designing people's logos. I worked at a place like designing stickers for a while, like pretty boring stuff. But we used to go out all the time on the weekends, like you do at that age. And there was this guy who we'd see out all the time. Like we were regulars at a couple bars and restaurants and stuff. And he was because nobody else in this town really spends that hard or goes that hard unless they're a drug dealer or they work on the oil rigs. And like oil rigs are like a big thing in Canada here. So like guys go off and work for like 6 months and they come back and they spend everything they made, go super hard, and then go back and do it again, you know? So those are the only two people that really had money at this time in this city. So I was like, this guy's got to be a drug dealer. But he was paying for everything with credit card all the time. So I was like, he can't be that big of a drug dealer. Like, no drug dealers use credit cards, right? So anyway, long story short, got to know him a little bit, figured out he did spam email marketing. So he was just like blasting like millions of emails a day to like AOL, SBC, all these like cable domains and stuff like that. OGs will know this. On like a software called RoboMail. So that's like other OG emailers will know what that is. But yeah, man, I was like, I need to figure out what this is. At that point, I'm like, I'm pretty good with computers. So I was like, this is for me because like I want to be rich. I want to make bread, you know. So long story short, I basically peppered this guy for months and months, but he it seemed like he wanted to party more than he wanted to work. And that
sounds like an affiliate.
Yeah, dude, 100% affiliate, right? Like 100%. And he'd literally living instead of paycheck to paycheck, wire to wire. And we would just like wire would come in, we'd go party, you know, like that net 7 was really getting worked hard. So yeah, man, from there I got introduced to the email marketing industry. And then from there, I met another guy. His name was Damon Fryer. He owns Daily Driven Exotics now, the YouTube channel. And this John guy was kind of unreliable, the first guy who I met. So I stopped working with him because I was like, this isn't going anywhere. I was working here and there, but overall, like it wasn't really pushing me forward. So I kind of broke off and partnered with this other guy, Damon. And we got into like Facebook advertising way back in the day. We were like, it was so long ago that we were like, there was no algo or anything. We were bidding like $1 per click. And like, that was it. There was no pixel or anything. We were just running like green coffee, Garcinia Cambogia, just to like fake articles, celebrity angles, Dr. Oz, all that stuff. And you literally just set your bid at like $1. beat out everyone and you just like spend, right? But like back then, our idea of what was a lot of money compared to now is quite different, right? So we were making like 2G a day profit. We're just like, we're fucking rich. Like, don't talk to me. Like, I'm driving a 2006 Range Rover, you know, like I am the shit. But yeah,
What year was
like
this?
anything. Oh man. I don't know. I kind of skipped a whole bunch of years there, but like it was probably, I'm
2013,
really bad.
2014?
Yeah, around there. I'm pretty bad with timelines, you know. Everything seems like a blur these days, you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
what, it's 2024? I thought it was 2022. Anyway, so yeah, I would say around there, give or take. Yeah.
Nice.
So
How was so you've seen that full evolution of the affiliates, like the online affiliate space, like paid traffic,
yeah,
paid media.
yeah, I've been around since the days of like every affiliate wore afflictions and Breitling Avengers that were iced out, you know, like I've seen it all, man. And like Rock and Republic jeans, True Religion, all that shit, like that was like token affiliate. And that's what I'm used to. Cause dude, we used to go to shows back in the day and I was just like, just a bunch of like, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, just like a bunch of nerds who made a bunch of bread. And then they're like, you know what? We're going to go buy what like we think is cool. A lot of Von Dutch hats.
That's awesome,
So
man. I know
yeah,
I've chatted with Adam Young a lot. He would tell me stories because I'm sure he was at the same shows back in like 2010, 2011, when it was like a
yeah,
much smaller space too.
yeah, yeah, it really was, man. And I feel like now it's, even though it still sort of feels like an underground boys club on some level, it's definitely a lot more mainstream than it used to be for sure. Um, like people are building like huge businesses now, and before it wasn't. I don't think people really treated it like a business. They more just treat it like a cash machine, you know?
Because you didn't have to, right? As an affiliate.
Yeah,
Now like if the best affiliates are doing like Sabo, biz dev, they're running a creative
yeah,
team, maybe they're doing the media buying or they've got media buyers underneath them. They've got like back end accounting, it's an actual operation, which is nice actually. It weeds out the run by day, run by night guys.
I agree. They're still there though. They're still there. Some
Oh,
of those
for
black
sure.
hat
And there's,
guys.
dude, they're still killing it. And the ones that are
Yeah,
still here are the ones they're making more money than the most of us sometimes, right?
I agree,
Um,
man. Like some of these black hat numbers I hear are just like absolutely insane. And I'm like, maybe I missed that. Maybe I want to. But I'm like, no, no, no. I don't want to go to jail.
no. So you saw from the early days of Facebook, where did you go from there? Did you move into like insurance offers and other typical verticals that most affiliates run in, or what was like your progression from there?
So after the like green coffee, like the weight loss pills, all that kind of stuff, we were doing, oh man, at the time it was like it, it was rebills, right? And then it went to straight sale. And I remember after straight sale, we kind of like tapered off and I was having issues. Like I was a rookie marketer, right? So I just was like a one-trick pony in a sense that I kind of found what worked and then I just pushed it to the bitter end and then it stopped working. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I had no one to really like mentor me or anything at the time, right? It was a pretty small industry. So I was more just like going off either what forums were saying or whatever. And honestly, at that time, I was more concerned about like partying and just hanging out with my friends than I was about becoming like a tier one marketer, you know? So I think from there, like I had a pretty down time for a while. And I ran everything, man. Like I was running like I tried running stuff on like adult websites. I tried what else did I do? I tried native advertising for a while. I did about it. Like I've done about everything and I failed at most, honestly. And then I later, farther down the road, um, sorry, I should clarify something here. So in this timeline, I'm friends with Tyler Devon for a lot of it, right? Like he was there at the email marketing days and stuff. We always sort of like kept in touch. We lived together for a while here in Vancouver, but then he moved to Florida. And then, but besides that, we still chat all the time. He stayed in the internet game. He did a little bit of everything. So he would bring me opportunities here and there. He'd be like, "Hey man, you want to try this? Like I heard this is working well." And at the time, like I was broke, and he had more stable income or better credit, I guess. And so he was definitely willing to like kind of fund me because back in the day, we worked in the same office together, and I kind of helped him out a bit on the email sort of side of things, and just like we always had like a great relationship. Um, so I think from there, he ended up, I don't know how he linked up, but he was friends with Anthony Morrison and Adrian Morrison. And
Yeah.
then that was like right at the start of like sort of like drop shipping. Um, Adrian Adrian just came out with a course, and we were kind of like, we were buddies with him. He's like, dude, you got to get on this. Like it's so easy. Like we're printing cash, right? And I just met this Southern boy, that's just like telling me all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, whatever, man, I'll try it. Um, so we ended up diving into that. I started a little bit of it. I didn't have great success. So I went back for the affiliate stuff in a sense. And I was running that military flashlight. I was like,
Oh
absolutely
yeah.
like, I was like, okay, finally, I got something to stick. This is great. I had that same lander that everyone had, running it through, I think it was W4 at the time. I don't remember for sure, but I think it was W4. And I was like, finally, like making money. I was like, thank God I'm back, you know? And then I got a message saying like, oh, we've ran out of inventory. You got to pause everything, right? And I couldn't find the offer anywhere else. And that's probably just due to lack of knowing people at that time. But I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Like, I literally have a working campaign that's printing money. I need this money like desperately. I gotta find a solutions. And then I remembered Adrian Morrison's course and stuff. And I was like, dude, I bet you I can find this shit on AliExpress. So went to AliExpress, found the flashlight, built a one product store super quick. It was called Outdoors Tactical. Um, some of you might have seen it before. We used to push pretty heavy. And I literally just took the affiliate LP I was running, and nobody did this before. Affiliate LP I was running, ran it to a Shopify single page store, ran the exact same ad, and it was like fucking working. Like I have a picture of,
Even better than the offer.
yeah, even better than the offer, right? And there was, I don't remember how much the payout was, but like the margin was still really there because we were getting these flashlights for like, I think like $4, maybe $6, and we were selling them for like 49 or something. And then we'd
Yeah.
upsell to like 2 or 3 or whatever. I don't fully remember. And like no email set up on the back end, nothing, just like from point A to point B, sale done, just like a true affiliate, Um, I have a picture of like Christmas when with my wife and I, and we're like sitting at the dinner table, and I'm just like ordering all these flashlights, and then like she's handling all the like customer support and the pissed off people being like, why isn't my flashlight here for Christmas? So
Yeah.
so from there, the flashlight, like, dude, that flashlight lasted forever. But we started adding more products to the store. Another huge one for us was like the headlamp. I think that like anyone who was in the e-com space would
I
recognize
did
that.
drop shipping from 2018 to 2022. So I know all these
Yeah, so
products too well.
yeah. So the
Yeah.
headlamp, the air chair, remember that thing?
Yep.
Yeah, the air chair, and then I I have this like posted on my like account and stuff like that, or I don't know if I still have it, or it was on my Instagram before, but we did $1 million month um rev on a kid's walkie-talkie flashlight, or sorry, a kid's walkie-talkie wristwatch. Um, and it was like a $6 product, and we were selling it for like $35, and it would come as a pair. I don't know how that popped off, but it absolutely destroyed. The downside is I was terrible at managing money and like really knowing the ins and outs of the details. Hence I was just like a straight like pound and smash affiliate. And then by the end of it though, our margin was like absolute crap. Like I think our margin was like 10% on that or something. Um, and that was like, yeah, there was a shit ton of chargebacks. It was just like an absolute mess. And that's when I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I need to transition. I need to get out of here. I need to figure out something else. And that's when I moved on to lead gen.
So this was coming
So,
into like almost like COVID, like 2020
oh no, this was way
or
before
before
that, man.
this. Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
this is
you
way
were
before that.
early drop shipping. Like sounds like you were like
Yeah.
maybe even like
Yeah, no, I was
2015,
right on the cusp
2016. Yeah,
because I
that's
think
awesome, man.
I don't know for sure, but I think Adrian Morrison was like definitely like one of the first because he I don't even remember when his course dropped, but it was a long time ago, like a super long time ago. Because I think I've been doing lead gen since 2018 or 19. I think 2018 actually. I think that's when I really like sort of like hit it off with lead gen. Um, but I think like, yeah, when I transitioned into lead gen, what did I start with? I think I started with some EDU stuff because I think that's where everyone kind of goes when they don't know shit about lead gen. Um, I'm trying to remember. Like I know where I had my big wins, but I don't really remember exactly like how I transitioned to that point because like like you're in the same boat, man. You've been doing this stuff forever. Like you've probably tested everything in the world, so
A
it's like
lot
it's
of
tough to
offers.
really keep track. Yeah. But anyway, I think I started with EDU there. We did a lot of nursing stuff. We did a lot of accounting stuff, but nursing was good. Grants, like just pitching everything as a grant is amazing, right? Like basically free money before it was like everything was free money, Like now you see an
Yeah.
auto insurance ad, you're magically putting $710 back in your pocket, So it
Sounds
doesn't
like
matter what it
ACA.
is. Yeah, you're getting money back, Like it's every lead gen offer is like winning the lotto, apparently. So
So you moved into lead gen. How much easier was your life when you left behind the fulfillment and ops that came with ecom and flipped over to just straight affiliate lead gen?
it was it was pretty easy and it was different. And I just remember sort of diving into this and I'm like, oh man, because like I came from an affiliate background. So I sort of knew what it was like, but I'm like, man, I forgot how nice this is, no customers, no bullshit. I just get paid, people leave me alone. And like I know I'm kind of like a big personality and I have a podcast and stuff like that, but I just love sitting in my basement, just like launching stuff. So like having to deal with like customer support and all that sort of stuff, it got to me, man, because like I don't want to rip people off by any means, and I never would intentionally do shit like that. But I found that like it was getting to me, and I was just like, man, I can't do this anymore. Like these people are waiting like months for their stuff, and I didn't like it. But when I switched to lead gen, I was like, this is great. Out of sight, out of mind. I'm living. So um it was quite a bit easier. And I actually was like trying to convince all my friends to switch to lead gen at the same time because like you know how it gets. Like you have a crew of friends and they're kind of all doing the same stuff one way or another, and you share info and stuff. Um and I and you met Cam, but like, dude, I kept telling Cam for like months. I was like, dude, just try lead gen, you'll make money. Like I promise. Like just come on over, let's do this. Um, but he was hooked on he was hooked on ecom and dropshipping for a while there. Finally came over, and well, we all know where that went because
Dude, he's
he's
done
probably one of the
extremely
biggest.
well.
Yeah, he's done great. I actually have like text messages, and like I'm sure people have heard the story before, but like he bought me a Rolex and stuff because I was like, dude, I was like, I guarantee you'll make 100 grand in the first month if you switch over to this because I already knew Cam had the skill set. Um, and he's like, if I make 100 grand, I'll buy you a Rolex. I was like, all right, man.
That's a
I'm
good
getting I'm
deal
getting a
for
Rolex.
you.
Yeah, so I got the Rolex. And Cam made like 150 grand profit that first month. So yeah, man. And then from there, I think my biggest win was around the same time as that, and it was on probably auto insurance and home insurance right out of the gate. Um,
2019, 2020.
yeah, I think this is probably end of 18 in 19 too. Because like before that, I was doing okay. I wasn't like crushing it by any means, like I do like $1,000 days here and there. Um, but my view of money wasn't really like massive like where it is today, if that makes sense. Like what was a lot was not like I was living in like a 700 square foot apartment. My rent was like 1,800 bucks a month, and I was just like, as long as I make enough to live and like have fun, like I don't really care, and that's just like sort of
Yeah.
like a younger mentality. Um, so I was doing okay, but then I kind of just like, I don't know what happened, man, but I basically just had like a talk with myself and I was like, you're kind of a bitch. Like, you're kind of just like, you're not being the person that you should be and can be. Um, and within a month, like I think I was putting up like 30K profit days, which was
Holy
like,
moly. What changed besides the mentality? What actually changed in what you were doing?
um, I think it was just it was volume, right? Like so I'm sure a lot of you guys do like self-help and shit like that, but like I literally wrote a list of like who I currently am today and who I want to be. And then I would just leave that out on my desk. And then when I'd be like going to like wrap it up for the day or whatever, I'd be like, what would this guy do? And I'm like, fuck, he would launch more. He would do more, you know, he would like test more
Yeah,
LPs. And so it wasn't really a skill set thing by any means. It was more just a volume thing, testing
like
more,
an
going
identity.
harder.
You became
Yeah.
a more committed marketer, it sounds like.
Yeah. Cause like I'm like inherently lazy. Like I have been my whole life. And I literally fight that all the time. I wouldn't say I'm lazy now. Like one of my friends, you asked me the other day what my superpower was. So I asked my friends that as well, just because I thought it was such a good question. Right. And then one of my buddies is like, I think your superpower is that you just do what needs to get done all the time. And I was like, bro, I literally fight that fucking shit every day. Like that's not a skill set of mine. That's just
But
like
it is. It's a
I
super
strangle that
valuable.
out of me. Yeah. So um I kind of just like turn that into a habit and that's all it is, right? Like I feel like you can have a million different sort of tactics and skill sets in this industry, but like if you're not launching enough and testing enough, you're never going to make money, man. And I think at the end of the day, you can be, I don't mean this in a negative way, but you can be like a pretty dumb person in this space and not overly intelligent. Like you don't have to be smart. You just have to be persistent. You'll find wins. So
100%, man. I feel like
yeah,
that stupid person sometimes.
dude,
The stubborn,
I am.
persistent, stupid person. And I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm the most intelligent person, man. Like I dropped out of high school. Like I thought like I was like not going anywhere with life, bro. Like I remember I ran into one of my principals once, like on the so there's a ferry here that goes from like Vancouver Island where I grew up to Vancouver where I live now. And you kind of have to take it. I mean, like there's some other options, but if you want your car over there, that's what you got to do. I ran into my principal once, and I remember it was so funny because he was just like shock and awe in who I became. He's like, "Oh, I for sure thought you were just." He didn't say this, but like from how he reacted, he was just like, "I thought you were gonna be like a fucking loser, bro."
How good does that feel,
So,
man?
it feels good, man. It feels good, you know, and like to be fair, I probably had habits that would make me feel like or turn into a loser if I didn't do something about it in a sense, you know, like, I don't know, in my friend group too, right? It's funny because like back then, just a bunch of degenerates, you know, like drug dealers, all that shit. But at the same time, all those guys became the most successful guys. All the guys that like were so great in school and like we're gonna be doctors and shit, like
They did
those guys
okay.
aren't doing shit
Yeah,
with their lives. They're
yeah,
not doing
yeah.
shit
They're
with their
like
lives,
they got a
right?
job. They got a job. Yeah,
Yeah. Married their high school sweetheart, you know, pumped out some kids. That's a wrap.
they're done. They're already
Yeah,
checked out.
that's it. I still like feel like I'm like 30, you know, just ready to do something else, move on to the next chapter, have some more fun, you know, break some shit. So,
What gets you excited today in the affiliates, or just like in life in general, and specifically with the affiliate space?
you know what's funny, man, is like I'm not overly excited about the affiliate space. And I don't mean that in like in a negative way. I've just been doing it so long that it's all sort of the same to me. Like versus like someone who's like a 25-year-old coming into this space, be like, man, this is amazing. Like this is absolutely insane. So like I think like I'm I'm trying to think here, like what excites me about it. I think what gets me excited about it is bringing new people into the space, like regardless if they work for me or not, and just kind of like showing them possibilities. Um, I love helping people make money, man. I know that sounds like kind of cliche, but legit, like there's guys on my team that didn't even know what affiliate marketing was, and now they're like they got to quit their jobs at like agencies and stuff like that where they were making like flat rate and not getting anywhere, to now being like, oh, I can like probably buy a house, or I can, you know, just
It's
like
cool. The
go on
impact, right?
vacation, do what I want to do. Yeah, do it, just yeah, make a lot more and live a better life, because like money is important. Like it's not everything by the end of the world, but like you can definitely create a lot more fun and better scenarios in your life with money. So I like giving
Dude,
people the opportunity to do that.
there's this quote. I'm probably getting canceled for saying this, but there's this quote by Kanye that has
Yeah,
always stuck with me. It said, "Money ain't everything, but not having it is," and that's so freaking true, man.
yeah,
Like doesn't matter what you do. Like it just, I mean, we've all had the highest of highs when like
yeah,
campaigns are crushing. You're making more money than you know what to do with, and it's like the feeling you get just because you have like you're not worried about anything financially is pretty cool, right?
yeah.
Like maybe you're
I
sick
agree.
or like do you have a real problem outside of that? But aside from that,
Yeah,
like just being able to like pay the flight or pay the bill, or like if someone wants to like do something like throw a party or something, you just do it like just because you want to
yeah,
do it. It's the best. That's the best feeling, man. And then be able to do it for others is super cool too.
yeah. And I think for me, man, like I have so much pain associated to the other side of that. You know, like I've been like, fuck you, broke. Like I grew up like, I'm not trying to create a sob story by any means, but like I grew up pretty like poor. Like my parents were fantastic and everything like that. But like overall, like I'd always be like, why do the other kids have Nikes and I got some shitty Walmart stuff, you know?
Dude,
When like,
same.
and like, and that shit sticks with you regardless. But then like even past that, man, like early 20s living in a basement suite, having to like sell my car to like pay rent just because I wasn't doing shit with my life, you know? Um, that shit, man, dude, like I've been like being like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like crying and shit, you know, just like like, and that pain to me makes me want to help everybody, you know, like I don't want anyone to feel that pain, but I know that there's value in that pain. But I mean, like when you're a helper, you don't really think like that, you know? So yeah, man, I think that, and the people who do know me and the people who have like done my course or who have like been to my events, like I'll tell you fucking everything. Like I'll give you like working campaigns, man. There's some guys in my group, and I'll just be like, dude, like you've been struggling. You need to fucking do this, you know? Because what's like, you know, like this person makes $500, it changes their lives, versus like you give away your ad and whatever, who cares, you know? So
Yeah, someone's gonna rip it anyway, right? If you think with the
yeah,
abundance mindset, it's cool, man. You can have a bigger impact. And so it's cool because I'll be honest, like I've met a lot of affiliates. I can relate to some, like
yeah,
I feel you're very easy to relate to. Like I feel like I'm talking to like a person, not just like a,
yeah,
a scumbag trying to squeeze profits at any cost.
yeah,
And I think a lot of guys in the affiliate space, they don't really think about filling the cup, right? They just think about
yeah.
filling the wallet at any cost. So I think it's super cool that you've found a way to fill your cup and you've done it for others too. And you look at it that way, you know?
Yeah, man. It's like I would argue that I'm an overfiller at times and I don't think about myself enough, but that's another problem. I'll figure that out eventually. Um, but yeah, man, that's what really gets me going. Like I'm the people who do know me, like I'm not a guru at all, man. Like I don't like guruing. I'm never gonna have like videos of me standing on a Lambo being like, buy my shit. Um, and it's a struggle, man, because like I do want to I love selling my course and getting people in there only because I know that it can change their lives. But at the same time, man, I'm like, there's a part of me I'm like, no, man, like that's just like so douchey and shitty. And I think that there's like a fine line. Like you can market stuff in a good way, you know, like there's a lot of marketers out there that are doing great in terms of like selling courses or events or stuff like that. But yeah, I never want to be that guy. But I do really want as many people as I can get to do my course, just because I want to show the potential of like how much money you can make and all the cool shit you can do.
So just for
So
everyone listening, I haven't gone through his course. I was privileged enough to go to one of his masterminds last week, which was phenomenal. And I know guys that have gone through his course, and I've literally only heard positive things. And this is coming from guys that have actually had real results. So if you like, I don't do coaching in the affiliate space. But he is your man to go to if that is what you're looking for. Like I'm giving you an endorsement and asking for nothing in return, man, just because
Yeah,
I do believe in it.
I really appreciate that, man. And like, yeah, that's not the point of this podcast. Like, I don't care if anyone buys my course or doesn't buy my course. It makes no difference to me, you know. But I do appreciate the shout out on that. But yeah, I mean, like, if there, you can learn this shit for free as well. It's just you're gonna have to knock on a lot of doors and ask some questions, and
There's
like,
a lot of
by
value
all
in
means, do
coaching.
that. Yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah,
value in coaching. I've paid to do a lot of masterminds, a lot of coaching programs. I went to gym for 10 years. I did Alex Hormo like, dude, I invested in Alex
yeah.
Hormozi's gym launch in 2017. I was one of the first 100 gyms in their program. I've
That's
never
amazing.
had such a large return on a high investment in such a short period of time. Completely changed my life. It's why I'm in a financial position I am today and doing what I do right now.
That's amazing,
So,
man. I
like,
love Hermosi's stuff. Yeah, it's great, straight to the point, you know. And I'm assuming that his coaching programs are like that as well. I've
it
read his
was
like a couple of his books and
amazing.
stuff, but
Bro, it
yeah,
was structured. It was so simple. It was you get on a Zoom call. He'd be there available himself 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from like
yeah,
1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern. And you would get on and just ask questions about like your lead gen or your sales process. And he would just tell you the freaking truth. It was the best experience I've had, hands down. It's hard to find that.
yeah,
And in affiliate space, I think it's refreshing like connecting with you too and being with the guys at your event because in the affiliate space, it's notorious for people like hiding and not sharing stuff. So I think when you're able to create an environment where it's you filter out the D bags and then also people are more open to sharing, I think that creates so much like just I don't know, awesomeness. I don't know the right word for it, right? Like
yeah.
I've done 3 or 4 follow-up calls since last week to make a point to like keep the ball rolling. But I hopped in those calls with the intention of, okay, what can I do to like give to this person if there's something there? Worst case, like we're connected and we can always be of we're
Mhm.
like there's some trust going forward if we ever need help because we all need help in the space, right? It doesn't
Yeah,
matter if
I
you're at the
agree.
top or the bottom.
Yeah, I agree. Um, and that was kind of like my thing with the events, man, is like we've all been to big conferences and stuff like that. And like you get pretty hyped about like what the person's talking about. But you like I feel like there's always details missing in the talk, right? Like you're kind of so removed from that person. Like, how are you going to get those details? You know, I mean, you kind of just have to figure shit out for yourself. So I was like, where's a scenario where people are going to share the most and be like open about it, and you're going to be able to follow up with this person and get what you need, right? So that's why I max my events out at like there's a little bit more now, but like I think it's average like 25 people plus the speakers. We usually round up to about 28 people total, 29 people.
Perfect size.
And
Perfect
right,
size.
and they're all great dudes, you know, like no gurus are there. Like I think we've had one person that had a course, which was Carlos Corona, and like his course is amazing on pay per call, right? So
Yep.
it's like some people ask me for like the speaker list, and I'm like, what's the point, man? Like you're not going to know who the fuck these people are, man. They're just like random marketers who
Yeah.
like just hide and do numbers, you know. um and I think that's what it's all about because yeah, we've heard the same song and dance from these more guru guys, and they just kind of say the same shit over and over again, you know.
A lot more
So
practitioners most of
yeah,
the time.
yeah, it's funny too because like everyone's like, why don't you speak at your own events? And I was like, I've given you guys everything. Like I'm the guy that gets you from like A to like C, and then like those other guys are gonna take you from like D to Z, you know. So I feel like I don't need to speak at those because I'm more of like I'm gonna get you into this space. I'm gonna get you making your first like couple $1,000s a day or more, and then like these guys are really gonna blow your mind and take you to the next level. So
What's
that's
been
how I envision it.
what's been some of your like proudest success stories of people you've helped, whether it's straight through your coaching course or even just like someone you pushed to do this?
Man, like there's a lot, dude. Like Russ and Tim, those guys are amazing. You got to hear them talk, you know, like I remember that first interaction from them and just like gonna buy a bootleg version of my course. I'm like, I don't fucking care, bro. I was talking to my wife. I was sitting on the couch. I was like, how do I handle this? I'm just like, I could get mad or I could just be like, whatever, do what you want. And that's the route I chose, right? And like, look at where we ended up. Dude, there's another guy I know. He makes like consistent like mil plus a year on insurances, like auto insurances, home insurances. He's great. Dude, I get DMs all the time. People just being like, "You completely changed my life," you know. So I can keep
That's
going on,
good.
but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But yeah, I feel like if I was to walk away from the affiliate space tomorrow, I feel like I've done my part, you know. So yeah.
What do you think someone needs to be successful coming in today versus like 5 years ago? Like what's changed and how what's some advice you would have for them starting out?
I think as you know as well, man, it really comes down to creative. Like you can be an okay media buyer with an amazing creative and just like destroy people, right? So I think that like that's like so when people ask me now what I would focus on, it's more just learning copy, learning creative, really spend time on ad library or ad spy tools and just hone in on what's working and then figure out how to replicate that. Like we just had a guy on my like we do weekly calls. I had a guy on my call and he's just like, all I did was just I kept downloading the videos that I saw were winning, and then I'd break out the video into like copy, and then I would just look for patterns in that over and over again. He's like, and now I can write that video over and over again in many ways as I want, and it'll work for me. So um I think that we have to be in this time now, you have to be just like you have to be a better marketer in terms of like the creative process, and you need to have good systems set up for that, right? Like I don't know how many creatives you pump out, but like, dude, some of these big houses are pumping out like 200 a week, testing them, you know, going hard. And that's a lot to do for one person. So you need to really have that system in place. And then on the other side of that too is you need a good offer. Because you can have the best creatives and the best media buying skills, but if you're pumping it to like a bad offer, like you're never gonna make it work, right?
Yeah.
So I think those are the kind of the two key elements. I feel like the media buyer in the middle has some value, but overall, I think it's replicatable.
I saw I don't know if you follow John Verum. John, I think we're
No.
Verum. He was a big drop shipper. He still is. He's super low
Yeah.
key the last few years. He just I'll send you the YouTube video, man. He talks about like a super consolidated one campaign structure, like literally freaking one
Uh,
CBO. And then every time he wants to test new creatives, he just duplicates and pops in the new ads into the new ad set. And then he just like
I've
he doesn't
seen that.
overthink it. It's the simplest.
Yeah.
So I run more similar to like how Russ and Tim broke down, where it's like a creative
Yeah.
campaign, and then you take your best creatives and you put them in the scaling campaign. Now I'm adding in like the manual bidding too, like as a separate campaign. So I've kind of
Yeah.
consolidated, but this is like next level, man. And John
Yeah.
even said in his last video, I mean, the guy's doing millions per month in drop shipping, which is super impressive. Like I don't know that many guys doing high volume with true drop shipping with
It's
paid
just
media.
it's just him running the ads, right? Like he's like, I don't need a
Already,
media
yeah, dude. He's
buyer.
like, I don't need to be a buyer. That's nuts, man. It's
Right?
crazy.
Yeah.
It's cool though. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. And so like that brings me to kind of my next point is like I feel like everyone's trying to figure out the best way to run, you know, like the best way to scale, the best way to do this. And I feel like there is sort of some trends that you see with Facebook, but at the end of the day, man, like I know people that just still dupe out ABOs like to the moon and make money. You know, like it's just because their creative's great, you know?
I was on a call
So
with one of my really good friends. I'm not going to name drop him. I don't know if he wants his name put out there. You most definitely you actually I think he might have gone through your course. I'm not sure. But you definitely know
okay.
him. Killer
Yeah.
dude. He's
Yeah.
running VSLs again, and he was asking for like help because he's literally running on Facebook for the first time in probably like 2 or 3 years, and he's already
Yeah.
spending like 50K a day within a month, like profitably.
Amazing.
He's
That's
a
awesome.
legend. And dude, he shows me that account and he's literally got like 50 duplicates of the campaign. And
Yeah.
I was like, bro, like this is working. You're seeing like 30, 40% ROI, but I think your life would be easier and you might even make more money if we just simplify this down. So
Yeah.
so to your point, absolutely. Like the old
Yeah.
school like Chad method, just duping, duping,
Yeah.
duping when it hits,
Yeah.
it absolutely still works.
Yeah. And that's, I am 100% the Chad, man. Like I mentioned this to you before, but like, yeah, dude, I'm not the complex guy that's going to try 500 combinations. I'm just like, I'm going to just throw shit at the wall till something sticks and then just like hit it until I burn down the house.
What would you say to someone in the affiliate space that has made money, but they're in a rut and they're struggling? Like what would be your advice for them? How have you picked yourself up out of slumps?
Man, I think it's like, so whenever our team's like not making what I want them to make, or me personally kind of just like, why do I even do this shit? Like I feel like if I put this much effort into another business, I probably would have sold it by now and got rich or something, you know? Um, I just start asking other people. I just start having conversations with all the guys I know in the space that are doing big things. And I feel like even after one conversation, I'm just like, oh yeah, you got this. Like this is awesome. Like I forgot how great this space is, you know? Um, and to my point, I feel like in the last few months, everyone's kind of been complaining about Facebook, but I know for a fact that there's tons of people that are still like cranking on stuff, you know? So like that's the thing. Like if you're not making money, there's always somebody else that is on
Yes.
Facebook at least. So I try to always remember that, right? Because I think that we're quick to blame the algorithms and everything like that. And that may be valid, you know, but at the same time, there's always a way, you know, or there's always another traffic source, you know. There's like we know how much money guys crank on YouTube, you know, and like even TikTok and Snapchat, man. Like there's some guy who comes to my event all the time that does great on Snapchat.
Yeah,
Nobody's
I
even
met
touching
him.
Snapchat,
Yeah. It's low
right?
key
So
killer.
yeah, low key, right? So there's always a way to make money. You just got to get out of your own head and do whatever you got to do, whatever that routine is. I think we all have different routines on to how to pull ourselves up and get going again. But yeah, I think it's mentally the hardest part. But yeah, just talk to other people, figure out what's going on. Um, Step away from the computer and stop trying to like just force shit and see what else is happening in the space, you know?
What about
So
focus? So when I say focus, I mean you brought back a point like if you're stuck and something's not working, like one idea, and this has worked for me in the past, one idea is to move to another traffic source for the same offer
yeah,
versus just doubling down in more creatives with the same traffic
yeah.
source, same offer. How do you know from your experience and your students' experience one that's a distraction versus a necessary focus to shift to another like platform, for example?
I think you don't until you try. And it's like, it's kind of frustrating because there is no right answer until you do it. Um, I'm inherently a no guy. Like I used to just always be like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. Like I just always thought that I knew better for everything. And I think like around COVID time, I was like, or probably before COVID, I was like, I'm going to be a yes guy to everything, even if like, so as soon as something comes up, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to say yes to this. um, and a lot of the time that fails, but like in terms of like what you're asking, you don't know if it's going to work or not, but even if you're hesitant to it, you should try it because you might learn some shit. And even if it fails, you might learn a new way to run, or you might like find a new style of creative, right? Like I think that I used to I used to always go to native platforms to find LPs because I felt that they had to be so much more dialed in, right? Um, and just by doing that, I could turn my campaigns around on Facebook because
Mm.
I think a native media buyer is superior to a Facebook media buyer just because you
I
have to
love
be.
it.
Um, it's just so much more competitive in a sense, right? And you literally won't get deliverability unless your stuff is dialed. Um, so I think that, like, let's say, for example, you wanted to go over to native, you're going to start seeing all these other people's ads that are just so much better than yours. And it takes like a quick test to just move over to Facebook. And that in itself could blow your Facebook campaign up, and you don't even have to go to native. But the original thought of, I'm going to go try and run on native will get you to that place. Right. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but
No, it does, man.
yeah.
So what about focus in general? Because we're in a world and a space of shiny objects. There's always someone DMing you with a new exciting offer with high EPCs or RPCs. How do you create focus for yourself as a whole?
To be honest, I'm pretty bad at focus, man. Like, I wake up and I just like jump into the hellwind of my Skype chats. And um before I had a team, I was left alone a lot, and I really enjoyed that. But I know it was limiting, you know. I know that I wasn't going to get as far ahead in life unless I deal with that. But like now, like for example, my Monday, I didn't do anything except for calls all day, and then at the end of the day comes and I feel like I did nothing with my life, you know. Like, I have a tough time associating a win to anything else but me personally making money on a Facebook campaign, you know? So like, my team could go make $1 million tomorrow, and I'd be like, ah, whatever, you know? It's tough, and it's a really hard transition, man. I still think like a media buyer.
Yeah,
Um, and it's limiting for sure, but it's also like, I don't
pretty
know.
cool. You
It is
could
what it
leverage
is.
your team, man. It's still pretty cool when you can leverage a team to smash it.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, we've never hit $1 million day. That was just like an example, but
Not yet, not
um,
yet.
yeah. Um, but yeah, in terms of focus, I'm definitely not the best. When I have to focus, I just basically turn off everything, phone on, no distraction, remove like my Skype, everything like that, and then just go head down. But my number one struggle in life over the last year has been like head down focused work. So I don't know if I'm the best person to ask that.
No, it's good to get perspective though.
Yeah. I don't know. I've tried time blocking and everything like that. And yeah, I don't know. And also in the last year, 2 years, I've had a child too. So it's like distractions at an all-time high. He's at daycare right now. So this is the only time I can do it. But yeah, I think having an office would also be very helpful, which I don't. So
That was my next question. How has having a child impacted like your drive, your outlook, just how you operate in the business?
um I'm definitely less reckless with my spending because I'm always thinking about the future. And then you just think about a lot of things that you never really thought about before, you know, like we're gearing up to try and move. You just really think about the future a lot more than you would before. Like before, I could just like pack up and leave in an instant and go do whatever I wanted. And now it's definitely not like that. You have to really take that child into consideration. But in terms of like motivation and stuff, man, I'm always thinking about like, it's tough. I want to make more, but have more time to spend with my kid. You know,
Mm,
that's like, and that's, I'm still kind of new to the childhood thing, so it's I haven't fully wrapped my head around that because like I feel like I'm still needed quite a bit. But it makes me think about more so how to exit stuff, how to make value in something, get a percent of it, and then get a big payout, right? Because like I think in a perfect world, I'd be retired by the time I'm like 45, 46, you know? And that's only like that's almost like 6 years away, you know?
yeah.
So I'm like, how can I completely change my financial life in 6 years? And it's less so about like, I'm just gonna throw up a campaign and make a buck. And it's more just like, how do I create something bigger to sell it to someone and get a big cash out, you know? So
It's cool, man.
time is
Cool how it shifts
time
your
is very
thinking.
valuable. Yeah,
Extremely. It
yeah,
always was.
yeah. So just
Brother,
a little bit different.
how can people find you, learn more about you, see about your masterminds? Because I'll be honest too, I posted on my story that I was going, and then people were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, is this like a invite only thing? Like, how do I learn more about this?" So I think that by having you on the podcast, we could definitely get you out there more. So the next event sells out before you even post it.
It's interesting, man, because I feel like a lot of people know about me, but then a lot of people don't. And like, even just like, I'll post. This is the first time I actually ran ads for my mastermind at the last one in San Diego. But before that, I'll literally just post and I'll sell out within like a month or two on Instagram. And to be honest, I kind of like it that way because it's generally people that I know. I know there's not going to be any D-bags there, but I also like when new faces come because obviously I love meeting new people in this space, man. It's always interesting to see what they're doing and hear what they're doing. But the best way is probably my Instagram, which is just Gabe Ansel, Ansel. And then I also have my courses lockedinleads.com. Yeah. And I think those are the two major places. If you want to add me on Skype, you can too. It's just Gabriel Ansel.
Love Skype. But love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I'm pretty open to talk, man. Like I'm a pretty friendly guy. So if you guys got questions, send them over.
Cool. All right, brother. Thank you so much for joining me, man. I love learning from you, spending time with you. Your event was awesome. You got tons of great testimonials and the impact you've had. So we'll make sure to link back to the IG and your course as well underneath this video. And thanks again for your time, man.
Dude, I really appreciate it. It's interesting being on the other side of the podcast and being asked the questions. And also, like, I forgot to mention, man, but like your talk was fucking amazing. Like I've shown your ads to everyone on my team that like the creative examples, like we need to do more of this because this is like top tier. I literally had a comparison. I was like, our ads look like shit. John's ad looked professional and amazing. Like, let's do this. So
thanks, man.
I really appreciate that, man.
Credit to my creative team. Credit to my creative team. So thank you. Having good people is key in this business, man. It's a people business at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, for sure. So awesome, man. Love what you're doing too with the podcast. So thanks for having me on. And yeah, chat to you soon.
Appreciate it, man.